Here with Matt Smith, Victoria's head coach of the Princeton Tigers, Region 3 co-champions, Class AAA. Will be the number 6 seed in the state tournament, and you will get Nitro in the first round. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's talk about the Kanawha Valley team that you beat tonight, Capital. I'm going to start off with defensively. You guys were able to pressure them and make things really difficult for them. I think it took them a couple of possessions and just talk about the approach coming in and pressure, because they have some good athletic players.
They do. They're very well coached. Very well coached. And we did. And like I said, they made the adjustments all night, right? They started sneaking in behind that first line, getting that pass over the top, so we had to retreat, so we had to change things up. But our defense, you got to play defense every night. You know that. And like a night like tonight where our shots weren't falling, it's that defensive end. And the ability to change things up. Like, we don't do a lot of different looks. We just change where those looks come from, right? Full court, three-quarter court to half court. And to be able to do that and keep them just enough uncomfortable. I will say, man, if Nunu got one more shot from the free throw line, I may have lost my mind, because we know that's her spot, right? But, yeah, proud of the girls' effort. And like I said, I thought Capital made adjustments all night just to keep us on our toes. So hats off to them for that.
So I think it was the Beckley game when we talked about Abby, about how, she didn't score, but it felt like she dominated the game. That was Addison tonight. Almost like a carbon copy.
Yes.
I don't think she scored until about 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter, but it felt like at that point she had scored 15 points because of how she ran the point, dished the ball, and defensively just causing havoc, generating a lot of those turnovers. Just talk about her being able to step in and kind of give you a carbon copy of that, because I talked about it. You could make a case that Abby has been your best player this year, so to lose her as you have and have somebody step in and kind of give you that same impact is key, especially in a regional championship game.
Oh, listen, Addie McCabe brought everything we had to have, right? You mentioned not feeling like she scored. Well, when she had to, right? Stepped up at the free throw line. I know she missed 2 there late, but those are big free throws. I mean, they cut it under 10, and she goes to the free throw line and makes those, and you kind of are like, all right, she's 15, 20 points. They have scored because of all the other things. Wherever we put her, whether we're full court, half court, wherever, she's aggressive on the top of that press. She's aggressive on the half court 12. She's getting her hands on things. She's getting people in the right spot. And the thing that I've enjoyed, especially seeing the growth, right? Addie and I have had a lot of conversations about pace of game. When do we go fast? When do we slow down? And she's seeing that now, right? Because you got to remember, she's a sophomore guard, right? Being thrown into things, and like you said, when Abby was out there, kind of everybody could kind of look to her, and now everybody's looking to Addie, and she stepped up and she's bringing that same intensity, that same mentality, and that same calmness to everybody else. And I don't know what Tyler, what you had her for. Jason told me earlier he had her for 13 rebounds. So 13 rebounds or close to it. I don't know what you had, but from the guard position, I mean, that goes into the defensive effort you're talking about, right? She understands that when the shot goes up, the possession's not over, right? We have to secure the rebound. So can't say enough good things about Addie McCabe tonight. She's been playing well for a while, and I'm just so proud of her, and I'm happy for her.
That fourth quarter, I think they made it like a 5-point game there. And it got tight. Just talk to me about what you said to the kids to kind of get them. Maybe it was the third quarter there, but at that point, especially as it's closing out the end of the third quarter, a tight regional game, it could start to get to you. The kids seemed to weather that storm really well.
Yeah, they did, and the message was simple. You've worked too hard, right? Reward yourself. You worked too hard. Nobody else put the time in over the summer. Nobody else was here when the air conditioning wasn't working in July when it's 85 degrees outside. They were here. They were the ones doing that. So the message was just relax and reward yourself for the work you've already done. And they came out, they responded. Now, again, we made a couple of make sure we know where certain people are defensively and rebound the basketball. And, the rest of it, again, is the girls just now, full season in, making those adjustments, being in the right place, and moments weren't too big, right? We've played a lot of big games, a lot of good environments, and some of those got to us a little bit, but that all led to tonight, and I think the kids mentally and physically being prepared and ready for that.
You held them to 25% shooting. Very difficult, and I felt like not only was it tough for them to really get anything at the rim, but they had to settle for a lot of outside shots. And I'm consistently looking at it. They're shooting deep threes, like I'd say, 20, 23 footers. Just talk about defensively forcing them into bad looks.
Yeah, right. It starts with stopping three, right? Stopping Nunu and trying to force shots. And once we got her stopped and we cut out, now she's a great basketball player. She still got to her looks, but when we could stop the penetration, that forced everybody else further out, and it forced those deep threes. And I thought, yeah, Addie did a great job. Kylie and Tyler squeezing that when she would try to get penetration, forcing that deep kick, and everybody just like you said, the defensive effort. But I think it came with cutting down what they want to do, stopping that, getting that penetration. And when she gets that penetration, and then you get cutters. And I thought we did a decent job of stopping that tonight, and it did force a lot of long threes.
You'll get a very familiar opponent in Nitro. Obviously they're very accustomed to that floor. They were state runner-ups last year, state champions the year before. Consistent
Right.
in Charleston. You played them the last 2 years. You lost at their place. You beat them earlier this year. Just talk about what you see from that matchup, from the angle of Nitro, and then also from a lot of your kids are extremely inexperienced. Like, they haven't been there. You've been there before as a coach.
They've never seen
yeah.
it. Yeah, and Pat and his girls are there every year, right? And very talented. The Colley girl is a great guard. Jones inside, a big presence that we're going to have to deal with because we're undersized. And then, picking out, okay, where do we help from, right? And that's kind of what we were successful with the first time. Listen, Pat's going to have a new game plan. He's not going to just sit there and say we're going to do the same thing and hope it works. And so we'll get down, break down film, watch, obviously, tonight's games, see what all they did. But, it's a familiar matchup, but it's an experienced matchup, like you said, and I have all the respect in the world for Pat, and I know his girls will be ready.
Gotcha. Thank you, Matt.